Dust swirls in the fading sunlight, curling around the scaffold like smoke. The rope creaks, taut and thin. She drops. No scream, no name. Her body sways against the weathered wood, pale face slack, eyes wide with disbelief. The town stands silent, only the wind cutting across the ridge, rattling shutters, lifting dust into lazy spirals. The sheriff leans against the post, hat low, expression flat, indifferent to the girl's trembling form. Below, the tree line rustles. Boots crunch dry grass. A saddle creaks. A stoic rancher emerges, shotgun resting across his lap. His eyes narrow. He doesn't speak. He calculates. Every twitch of her fingers, every shiver, tells him she's not gone yet. Her blood stains the old wood, dark on splintered planks. Laughter rises from the gang of bankers and townsfolk, rough, confident in the law's failure. But the rancher moves with quiet purpose. One step, another. The camera would linger on the tension in his jaw, the slow inhale of wind through his nostrils. He hauls her down, hands steady, muscles taut, pulling her to solid ground. She coughs, clutching at her chest, and whispers, almost lost in the dust, "He'll be back." He nods once, wordless, scanning the ridge and the distant horizon, shadowed and wide. The fire in the blacksmith forge crackles faintly in the distance, the orange glow touching the edges of the dust cloud. Silence falls, heavy, lingering, broken only by distant creaks and the rustle of dry leaves. The ridge holds its breath. Rescue has arrived, but the story is far from over. Morning light slices through the canyon, pale and sharp. She stirs, body trembling, eyes flicking to every shadow in the cabin. Dust motes drift in the beams, dancing over scarred walls. The rancher's silhouette stands in the doorway, coffee steaming, hands steady on the mug. "You'll be safe," he murmurs, voice low, measured. She swallows, voice cracking. The banker. They framed me." The words hang, fragile, broken. Pieces snap into place. The banker's slick eyes, his claim she stole gold, every lie now clear. He listens, jaw tight, a faded scar tracing his cheekbone, reminder of betrayal long ago. Silence stretches. She limps across the floor, dress torn, hands gripping the rough cabin planks for balance. Outside, wind lifts dry leaves, whistling through the gaps like ghost whispers of her near death. Every hoofbeat in the distance reminds her of the gang's reach. The rancher moves quietly, mapping a plan, proof, witnesses, courage enough to face the town's rot. Her eyes find his, a flicker of trust sparking across fear. In brief, unspoken echoes, his first failed rescue haunts him, mirrored in her terror. A distant dust cloud rises along the ridge, the banker's men patrolling, methodical. She gasps. He tightens his grip on the shotgun, eyes scanning. Storm clouds gather on the horizon, the first gray streaks of reckoning. Every doorway holds a shadow. Every whisper hints at betrayal. She swallows hard, standing taller despite tremor. "I won't be silenced," she whispers, voice thin but firm. The wind rattles the cabin boards, and the canyon seems to hold its breath. Night drapes the canyon in deep indigo, stars prickling the sky. Fire crackles in the cabin hearth, sending sparks dancing across the rough wooden floor. She sits close, eyes fixed on the rancher as he sharpens his knife, each stroke deliberate, precise, hypnotic. The rhythm echoes her heartbeat. Memories leak unbidden, her family wiped out in a border raid, whispers of survival, shame twisting in her chest. Her voice trembles, barely audible. "I should have fought. I should have." He doesn't answer, only the scrape of steel on stone, the steady fire crackle. His jaw tightens, a faded scar catching the flickering light, a mark from the day his brother fell in a gunfight he couldn't stop. Flashbacks cut through the firelight, dusty streets, a man wronged and hanged, curses carried on the wind, echoes bouncing off adobe walls. She flinches at every creak of the cabin, every shadow sliding across the walls. Outside, hooves echo in the canyon, erratic, wild. The rancher paces slowly, voice low, recounting stories in fragments, teaching patience, courage, survival. Close-ups linger on clenched fists, trembling lips, eyes bright in the firelight. Trust grows between them silently, wordless. A lone owl hoots outside, vigilant, ominous. He leans close, whispers with weight. No words. No questions. Just action. She nods, absorbing the cadence, the lesson etched into her trembling body. Dual timelines weave together, her narrow escape, his chance for redemption long delayed. Moments of silence stretch, firelight reflecting on scarred skin, echoing unspoken truths. She rises, moving to the cabin doorway, gaze sweeping the ridge. Shadows shift, restless. Her lips part, whispering the thought she can't hide. The banker is coming. The wind carries it sharp like a warning. The night presses in, heavy with anticipation. The morning sun glares off the ridge, bleaching the dust in harsh light. Each step along the road kicks up pale clouds that drift lazily, then quickly scatter in the dry wind. Boots crunch rhythmically. A gang of the banker's men approaches, hats low, eyes glinting with greed. She presses herself behind a row of barrels, heart hammering, palms slick with sweat. The rancher steps into view, shotgun resting across his lap, calm but ready. He doesn't speak. The gang laughs, their voices sharp, cruel. "This girl's ours," one spits, teeth bared. She flinches, remembering the rope, the sway, the silence of that near death. He shifts closer, shoulders squared, eyes scanning each shadow, each movement. Silence stretches. The wind whistles between buildings, rattling shutters, carrying tension like a living thing. The gang encircles them, boots scuffing dry earth, the sunlight glinting off belt buckles and weapons. Quick flashes. His eyes sweep the ridge, her shallow breaths puffing in cold air, shadows stretching long across the boards.
He fires warning shots.
The echoes bounce off canyon walls, rattling loose stones. Men falter, instinct flaring with surprise. The camera tracks her eyes. Fear, anticipation, hope. He moves without command, with measured deadly patience. Fists swing, wood splinters. She ducks instinctively, tipping a barrel into one man, sending him sprawling into dust. Another retreats, coughing, wiping sweat and grime from his face. He whispers low, almost to himself. "They'll be back, always." Her hands tremble. He steadies her, brushing away tears, steadying both body and courage. The dual timeline presses in. His past failures echo, but this time he will not falter. Close-ups catch dust, boots, sweat, the grit of the moment. On the horizon, a dust cloud rises, the gang regrouping. Heart racing, chest heaving, they stand ready, knowing the storm is still to come. The rancher guides her through the canyon, saddle leather creaking, wind gusting, carrying the sharp scent of pine and dry dust. She grips the reins, voice shaking as she whispers, "I can't lose again." He doesn't answer. Only his eyes meet hers, steady, unflinching, promising safety. Lightning splits the distant sky, jagged and sudden. Clouds gather over the canyon ridges, dark and heavy. A small fire burns between them, smoke curling. Into the rising wind, coffee steaming beside it. Shadows dance across their faces, brief echoes of the past. His younger self, waiting for justice that never came, haunting the quiet canyon. Now he teaches her patience, awareness, the silent rules of survival. Together they inspect the ledger she retrieved from the banker's vault, the leather worn, pages yellowed. Each line, each signature pulses with potential, a map of lies and greed. He traces a finger along the proof, voice low. "This is your truth." "This is your fight," she nods, fists clenching, eyes burning with determination. Outside, the wind rattles shutters, gusting through the canyon walls. Distant hooves echo in valleys, ghostly and uneven. She swallows hard, standing straighter, readying herself. A howl pierces the distance, a signal, warning of approaching danger. Storms brew above and within, imminent and relentless. They share a wordless nod, the firelight reflecting off eyes sharpened by fear and resolve. Silence stretches between them, tense and watchful. Then a snap, a branch breaking. Someone, something, watching from the edge of the canyon. The camera would linger, capturing their eyes. Determination, fear, readiness. Every nerve tight, every breath held. The ridge waits. The storm is coming. The storm breaks with a sudden roar. Rain pelts the ridge, soaking earth and leather, turning dust to slick mud. Boots splash, rhythmical and heavy, as the banker's gang emerges, coats darkened and glistening. Thunder masks the first gunshots, deafening, echoing across the canyon. She crouches behind a boulder, shotgun pressed tight to her chest, eyes darting through sheets of rain. The rancher moves with precision, sliding from cover to cover, shotgun angled, boots sinking in mud but steady. Bullets shred earth, splinter wood, kick up spray. He yells over the storm, "Now!" She bursts from cover, hands trembling as she fires. Slugs strike a barricade. Splinters fly. Quick flashes. Lightning reveals faces twisted in fury, shock, surprise. Her fear mirrors his own past. The day his brother fell, memories cutting sharp as steel. They advance step by step, measured, careful. She remembers each lesson, duck, pivot, aim. The camera catches slow-motion impacts, mud spraying, sparks, rain washing grit into eyes and mouth. A man lunges. She sidesteps, swinging the barrel into his arm. He stumbles back, cursing. Rancher hauls her aside, eyes hard. "Focus!" Another volley erupts, men scattering, slipping in mud. The banker steps forward, coat slick, fury boiling, eyes narrowed. Distance shrinks. Hands twitch near triggers. She breathes, aims, fires. Banker falters, stumbles back, retreating toward the ridge. Rain mixes with dust, ash, and sweat, washing the battlefield clean. Silence follows, broken only by dripping water, snapping twigs, ragged breaths. They stand, drenched, weapons heavy, victorious but wary. She glances at him, voice small. "We did it?" He nods once, stoic, scanning the ridge, shadows long and restless. They know this reprieve is temporary. The storm is far from over. Sun breaks over the ridge, bathing the canyon in amber light. The storm's roar fades, leaving only dripping leaves and the soft rustle of dry grass. She sits on the porch, wrapping torn sleeves around bloodied hands, fingers trembling. The rancher brings coffee, sets the steaming cup beside her, and steps back, silent, steady. Silence stretches between them, heavy but safe. Her eyes drift across the horizon, catching shadows of ridge and canyon. A tear slips, tracing dirt and sweat. He cleans his shotgun with methodical patience, every movement deliberate, precise. Flashbacks stir, her family, the border raid, the rope swinging in the morning sun. She inhales slowly, exhales, whispers a name swallowed by the wind. He doesn't pry, only nods once, acknowledging both grief and resilience. The ledger lies safe on the table, proof of fraud, of lies exposed. Down in the town, murmurs of justice ripple through quiet streets. Children peek from doorways, curious, cautious. She smiles faintly, small and fragile, yet growing steadier with each heartbeat. The camera lingers on minor gestures, her fingers brushing mud from her sleeve, him adjusting the saddle strap, a distant horse grazing under sunlit sky. Recovery is subtle, patient, cinematic, real. Her voice rises, soft but certain. "Maybe I can live again." He watches the ridge, muscles tense beneath calm exterior, knowing storms will return. Yet here, in this brief pause, they find a measure of peace. Dust settles. Fire crackles faintly in the hearth. The world holds still, just for a moment. Twilight drapes the ridge, shadows stretching long across scorched earth and weathered wood. She stands tall, facing the horizon, wind lifting her hair, eyes wet but clear. Beside her, the rancher rests, shotgun across his lap, silent, steady. She whispers almost to herself, voice trembling, "Who are you in this story?" He does not answer, letting the silence carry weight, letting the ridge speak for them both. The camera sweeps over the scarred ridge, the burned barn, the quiet town below. Echoes of past pain and present courage merging. Dual timelines settle, his old wounds, her near death, both stitched together in this moment of survival. Far off, the banker's shadow lingers, a silent promise of future trials, unseen but palpable. She turns, eyes locking with the viewer, voice low but steady. "If you're still here listening, don't forget, the West doesn't forgive easily, but courage can heal." The firelight flickers across her face, reflecting determination, fear, hope in equal measure. The rancher's gaze drifts to the ridge, vigilant, protective, a reminder that even victory is fleeting. Every ridgeline, every gust of wind, every lingering shadow hints at the ongoing struggle. Yet in this pause, moral clarity settles. Her lips part in a faint, resolute breath, fade to black. The canyon exhales. The story rests, but its weight lingers. Courage endures. Shadows remain. Choices echo. The banker waits beyond the horizon. The West will test courage again.